Would you like to be able to make really professional looking video edits without having to go through all the complexity of learning a video editor software? Hi, I'm Mark from Valor Excel, and today I'd like to show you how to do video editing using Canva. Now, if you're unfamiliar with Canva, you can click on the link in the description below this video to check out a tutorial that we did a while back that covers all the different functionality of Canva. Today we'll exclusively be looking at doing video editing. So if you go out to the website at www.canva.com, you can take a look at the various options that are available, including a free one. But I did want to mention in the example we'll be looking at today, I will be working in a paid professional license. Now, one of the great things about Canva is it's cloud-based, so there's no big drain on your CPU, and you have the ability to access your videos from any location to work on them. So I'd like to go ahead here on the Canva homepage and click on Videos, and this gives us some different template options that we can work from. I'd like to pretend that we're going to make a YouTube video, so I'll click on this template, and this will create a blank for us that is a 1920 by 1080 aspect ratio. So when I do that, it opens up here. We have this large blank area here. This is where the display will play as we're assembling and looking through the footage in our video edit. But down here at the bottom is the timeline, and this is where we'll actually construct everything that is going into our video. Now you'll see we have this one rectangular box here that says 5 seconds, and if I hover at the top, it says page 1. Every individual video clip that we bring into this project will be its own page. So if I click on the plus sign, I can add additional pages, and we'll put a separate clip into each. They default to 5 seconds, but as we import video into them, they'll automatically adjust to reflect whatever the length is of the video clip. Now you'll also notice here there's this little black icon. If I click and drag, this is the playhead. So as we're playing, this will move through everything in the timeline, and we can position wherever we would like in there. We have a play button here on the left. Now over here is a vertical toolbar that gives us a lot of different options. We'll look more at that in just a moment. We also have some templates here. And since we're pretending that this is something for YouTube, I think it would be nice to use a template so that we have a little introduction for the video. So I'm going to click, hold, and drag one of these and just drop it into page 1. Now, if you'll notice down here, it has changed the time to 4.4 seconds. So that's the length of this clip. Now, I could play the clip from up here to see what it looks like, but I'm going to actually play from down here in the timeline by clicking here. And there you go. Now I like it, but it's a little short. And you'll notice the playhead is continuing to move because we added 2 other pages, but it's not showing anything because we didn't import any video into them just yet. So the first thing I'd like to do is come back over here to page 1, and I'd like to make it a little bit longer. So if I hover over here on the right-hand side, you'll see that there is now a black bar that's appeared on both the left and the right edge. And if I click, hold, and drag to the right, I can actually increase the length of this clip, and I'm going to take it up to about 8 seconds. Now if I drag the playhead back to the beginning and hit play, that looks a lot better. It doesn't seem quite so rushed. It's spread out nicely. I like that. Another thing that I can do here is come back to the clip, and right now it says welcome to my channel. I'm going to highlight this, and I'd like to actually change this to say welcome to Valor Excel. If I wanted to, I could highlight this, come up to the top and change the font. I could change the color, and I can also change the size of what's here, but I can do that as well by clicking in the corner, holding and dragging to resize it. So let's go back to the beginning now and see what that looks like. I like that. That looks really good. So now from this point, we can go ahead and bring additional clips in. Now, one of the really great things with Canva is that in addition to using your own video clips, there's also a video library where you can select literally from thousands of different options in a variety of categories. But today, I'd like to use video clips that I've imported into Canva and work from there. So to do that, what I can do is come up here and click on Uploads. And then I'll go to Videos. Now I have some clips that I've already brought into Canva, and that's what we'll be working from. But I'd like to show you how easy it is to import something by uploading it. And to do that, all you have to do is come up here and click on Upload Files. And then it gives you an opportunity to select where you would like to take that from. So I'll go here onto my desktop, and I can just select a clip from in this folder, and then when I hit open, over here now it will begin to upload. So it shows me a representation of the video, and this water graphic is just showing the progress of the upload. And when it's done, that clip will now be available for us to use. So what I'd like to do here is add some of the clips that I've already put into place. So let me just click, drag, and drop that down. And now you'll notice it's kind of auto-playing for me as I did that. And we have the sound of rushing water. And I'd like to go ahead and add a few more blank pages and bring some additional clips in. Okay. Now, what I'd like to do here as well is start to do some editing. So one of the first things that I want to do is I noticed on these clips when I listened to them earlier, there is a lot of wind noise on this clip, and this clip actually has some air conditioner noise in the background. So what I can do, let's start with this clip here, is if I click on it, come up to the top, and then click on the volume icon, I'm actually going to reduce the volume the entire way off here because it was basically just wind noise, and I'll do the same for these two clips. I can also just do it by muting, but I wanted to do it with the actual volume slider so that you can kind of see that I have the ability here to pick any increment. But like I said, I can just do that as well, and then it will completely mute things. So for these last three clips, we don't have any sound, and then I really like the sound of the rushing water. There's just a little bit of ambient sound on this one, and we'll keep the other three like that. I think I'd like to bring one more in. I think I have one here. I'll click, and I want to show you, if I drag that, I can actually drop that in between two that I already put into place. And so without even having to add something, I can just drag and drop. I don't need to do anything special. But you do have the ability, if you hover in between, you can always add a page by clicking on the plus sign. But that's an easy way to do it. You can literally just click, drag, and drop as well. Now, the next thing here is I have quite a variety in between these clips. And I'd like to keep everything in maybe like the 6 to 8 second range. So with this one, I definitely want to reduce it because it's almost 28 seconds long. So again, if I hover over here on the right, I can click and just drag to the left, and I want to bring that down now. I'll put that at about 8 seconds, just somewhere around there. It doesn't have to be exact. And I'll do the same with this one because this one was pretty long. I'll bring that down by a few seconds. And lastly here with the cat, I'll make that maybe about 10 seconds. We'll make that one slightly longer. Now I want to go back here. I can literally just position my cursor and click here at the very beginning, and it positions the playhead right there. So let's see what we have so far.
Really picturesque.
Yep, it's a baby. Okay. I will shorten this one just a little bit. Let's take this down to about 8 seconds as well. Now, one thing that I noticed in here that I didn't like, this particular clip is really, really short. It's not even 4 seconds, and I'd like to make it a little bit longer. Now, what I could do is click and drag this to the right to increase its size, but were I to do that, what would end up happening is it would cycle the same footage over again. So it would play the 3.7 seconds, and then it would literally start back at the beginning, and that would look kind of weird. But one of the things that I can do if I click in the clip and come up here to the top to playback, I can actually vary the speed of the video. So if I clicked and drag this down, let me put it down there, and now at 0.5, if I play that clip, let's see what that looks like. It's slowed down a little bit. It's not ridiculously slow, but it did add several seconds to it, so that looks pretty nice. So that's an easy way to go ahead and extend something without it looking like you've just duplicated the footage. The next thing that I wanted to do here is I want to add a transition as we come out of this title into the babbling brook, because watch this here. That's really abrupt, and I really want this to be a nice smooth transition. So if I hover between these two pages, I could again just add a page, but I also have the ability down here to add a transition. So I'll click there, and now in the upper left-hand corner I have various ones that I can select from, and I think what I'd like to do is just do a dissolve. And I want to keep it fairly low so that it's kind of a gradual transition. Let's see what that looks like. And that looks really good. And I can vary that. So if I wanted to, on that transition, if I made it a higher number, it would look like this. That's a very, very slow transition. Let's actually pick something kind of in the middle. Let's put it at around 1. Let's see what that looks like. And that's nice. Now I'd also like at the very end after the cat, instead of just having it end, because watch how abruptly this ends. It's ending and just taking us back to show us the beginning of that clip. So let's add a page here at the end. And if I come to the top and click on this color option, I'm just going to select black. And now what I can do is between these two pages, I can hover, I can add a transition, and we'll do a dissolve. And let's put that up to about 1 second here. And now coming out of that clip will look like this. And that's a nice smooth way to end things. Now something else that we can do is add titles in these. So let's come back here with these guys. And if I wanted to add a title, I can come over here in the vertical toolbar and click on text. And now if I click on add a heading, I can put whatever I'd like in here. I can play around with this a little bit. If I highlight this, I can come up to the top and change the font color. Something else I can do by clicking on effects is I can add a different style, and I'm going to use lift. That just adds a little bit more definition, kind of makes it stand out from the background a bit. I'll enlarge it, and let me just put it down about here. Now let's see what that entire clip looks like. And I think with this, I'd like this to gradually fade in and fade out as well. So what I can do is come up here to the top and click on Animate. I'll come over here on the left and select Fade. And I have the option to animate on Enter and on Exit. I'm keeping it to the default, which is both. And let's go ahead and move this down. And now let's see what that looks like. Very nice. Now for this one, I think what I'd like to do instead of adding text is I would like to add a graphic. So let's come over here to Elements, and there are thousands of options here. There are different shapes and graphics and lines, a lot of different things that you can do. And recently there was one that I found that I thought was pretty funny that I'll go ahead and put in here. Let's use this, and I'll just resize that a little bit. And as we did on the other one, I would like this to actually fade in and fade out. So I'll animate, we'll do fade, we'll keep it at both, and I'll adjust the speed a little bit. And let's see what that looks like coming from the previous clip. All right. And I'll do one last one here for the cat. So let's come over here to text. And as before, I'll highlight it. We'll make it a lighter color. I do like the effects of using lift. And on this one, I think I'd like to actually change the font. So let's do something a little different. And I'll click and drag. I'm going to animate that and fade that one in as well. And we'll take a look at that. Now the last thing that I wanted to show you here is how you can add audio. So what's great about Canva is that you actually have the ability to select music directly from the library in Canva. You can also upload your own audio tracks, whether it's music or a voiceover. And to do that, if you were uploading, you would do the same thing we did when we uploaded the video clip. You would just click on Uploads and then select your files. If you're selecting from what exists in the Canva library, you can click on Audio. And there are many, many different options that you can select from. You can literally search for a particular mood or a style. But let's just take something here, and I can click, drag, and drop this underneath. And now what we've done is we've created a separate channel that is specific to the audio. So we still have our clips here, and then we have the audio here. Now, one of the first things that I want to do before I try playing this back is I'm going to come up here to the top, and there are different things that you can do. If you click on audio effects, you can do fade ins and fade outs. Now, altogether, the different clips in this video look like they're 53 seconds in length. I know for a fact that the musical selection is much longer than that. So the first thing that I'd like to do is go ahead at the very end, and let's add a fade out, and let's set it for 5 seconds. So what will happen is the music will begin to fade 5 seconds from the end. And this is a little hard to see, but there's a slightly lighter portion in the purple here, and there's a diagonal that starts here and ends there. And that's the downward slope of our volume curve. So starting at this point, it will automatically begin to fade out. One of the things that can happen sometimes when you import music is it can end up being much louder than the audio was in your individual clips. So what I can do here with this particular audio clip is come up to the top and click on this speaker icon. And right now I'm going to reduce the volume. I'm going to take it down all the way to 60%. And that might seem like a lot, but that should really help balance everything out. The main thing you want to keep in mind is that you don't want to overpower any narration or ambient sound in the clips in your timeline. So it's just an issue of striking a balance that's comfortable for you. Now, I did want to mention if you are planning on actually exporting pro audio for use on YouTube, you need to make sure that you follow the process exactly to ensure that that transfers across correctly and reflects the fact that you have access to the licensing for it. I suggest that you visit the Canva website for the step-by-step instructions, In this example today, we won't be doing that, but the first step in that process is to connect your Canva account with your YouTube account. Now, one of the really nice aspects of Canva, with it being cloud-based, is that it's always auto-saving. So if I click on File, you'll see it says All Changes Saved. Now, you can also click on Save to Folder, and from that point, you could basically select a specific folder within Canva to store that particular project in. It's defaulting right now to calling this To Valor Excel because it's deriving the title from what we put here. I'm going to click on the Edit icon, and let's call it something different. And now if I hit Save, it will be saved under that. So that looks really good. And the last thing I'd like to do here is to download this so that we can actually use it. To do that, I'll click on File, and I'll select Download. And over here, it will give me an option, and we would want to go with the MP4 that it defaulted to. So I'll go ahead and click on Download. So I hope that this was a good introduction. We just kind of scratched the surface. There's really a lot that you can do. You have the ability to move things around. You have the ability to change whatever you would like. And even within your project itself, you can click and drag your clips and reposition them wherever you would like. So there's great flexibility. And my favorite thing about everything you do in Canva, there is an undo option, and you can't beat that. It's what's known as non-destructive editing, because as you make changes, you can click this and undo, and that way you're not stuck with something that you didn't really want to do. It's a great way to work. It takes the pressure off. So I hope you have a lot of fun working in Canva with video editing. It's extremely user-friendly. It's easy to get a handle on what you're doing pretty quickly, and it really does produce amazing results. Are you obtaining amazing results in your business? Maybe you're at a place where you feel like you're just struggling from day to day, and you can't really figure out what the problem is. If that describes you, I'd like to help by offering you a free tool that you can get by clicking on the link in the description below this video. It's a PDF called Taking Your Organization's Temperature. It'll give you real insight into how you're doing things and maybe give you some ideas on what you could do better. If this was beneficial for you today, would you please give us a like? And in the comments below, let me know, have you ever used Canva Video Editor? I'd also like to invite you to subscribe to Valor Excel. We publish new content on a regular basis, all of it specifically geared towards small businesses to help them truly thrive. I really appreciate you joining me today. Please come back for the next installment of Valor Excel. Remember, we're committed to helping you do smart work. Thanks again. I'll see you next time. And until then, goodbye for now.